Costumes and memorabilia from 80 years of the Old Globe Theater producing the Bard on stage makes walking through the San Diego Public Library gallery like taking a journey through time.
This is a subtle whore.
Resolve you for more amazement.
As I am man, my state is desperate for my master's love.
Until you've traveled back 400 years to find the book that gave us Shakespeare.
To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether it is nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against essay troubles and by opposing, end them.
That's how Hamlet would have sounded in Shakespeare's day. But we might have never known some of Shakespeare's eloquent lines if his plays had not been collected 400 years ago in what's known as the First Folio, says library director Misty Jones.
After Shakespeare's death, some friends and colleagues of his took the plays and published them. And without them doing that, without them publishing and putting these plays together into folios, we would not have Hamlet. We would have no access to Macbeth.
Having the First Folio here is amazing. Knowing what we went through to make this happen makes it all the more special.
Shakespeare is kind of the ultimate librarian's dream, right? To have a Shakespeare text in your building.
It's definitely a part of our history we need to preserve, object history, and how people are able to learn from it. It's a way to make history, literature, poetry, theater tangible in its object form.
It really is about the book.
As an object, it's fascinating. The printing history of it tells a lot about how expensive paper was at the time. There are mistakes on the pages that they wouldn't have fixed because the paper was so expensive that they would print like that. We have these large panels where you get to see his words, the text, the type laid out. It really, I think, will remind people that this technology of printing in the 17th century, this was quite an accomplishment to put this book together.
And the play that it's been open to is Hamlet.
Right before you reach the First Folio, we have Hamlet and Claudius and Gertrude.
My words fly up, my thoughts remain below.
Alas, poor Yorick.
I knew him, Horatio.
And when you finally arrive at the First Folio, you'll find these famous words.
To be or not to be?
To be or not to be, that is the question.
Whether it is nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles and by opposing end them.
To be or not to be? That is the question.
Whether or not they even know that it's from Hamlet, or whether or not they even know that it's Shakespeare, it's a way that people can realize that they know Shakespeare. And we've discovered over the course of this research all the different ways people know Shakespeare and may not know it. Like The Lion King is Hamlet. But it's those references to Shakespeare that we're hoping that people will realize how accessible he is even now, even 400 years later.
Alas, poor stormtrooper, I knew ye not, yet have I taken both uniform and life from thee.
In the children's library, we're going to have a wonderful display of the Star Wars Shakespeare series of books where the illustrations are really going to kind of come to life.
Thou shalt not label me a mindless brute philosopher. Nay, nay, thou overladen glob of grease, thou imp, thou rubbish bucket fit for scrap, thou blue and silver pile of bantha dung.
So you're really going to see from high culture to pop culture how Shakespeare influences us.
Proving that even 400 years after his death, the force is still strong in this one. Beth Accomando, KPBS News.